What I'm going to talk about now is whatever we have created in our previous demo on setting up the Visual Studio environment, installing the UV, and then enabling the project for UV. We'll use that. So let me open that in the console and then show you what I have. Bring that up here into the screen, and if you notice here, this was the folder which we created last time, which had got all the Pi project TOML, UV lock, so on and so forth. So we have just opened the Visual Studio Code. Using that, I'm showing you again the util file where I kept up all the common code. We are using this OpenAI SDK. So we have first added this OpenAI SDK as our library to UV. So you can use UV pip install or UV add, or you can add that in the requirements file like that, and then call the requirement using the -r command. So that's what we did. And then what we did here is that we kind of have created this client. And then in the client, we use this OpenAI and initialize with the base URL, this one. And the key is your GitHub model key, which comes from the GitHub token. So when you have a GitHub account, you have an option to create the token, which I demonstrated earlier, through which you get the token. You just use the token here to validate that you are the legitimate user. So we are using that. In this client, we're not mentioning any model name. We are separately keeping these names ready. So one is the embedding, which we will use later. But here, the model name is OpenAI GPT-4o, which is what we're going to use. This is available in the GitHub model in the marketplace. So if you want to use something else, you can always get that, but make sure that they are available. And whichever is the provider / the model name is how we're going to call this inference model, right? What I'm now going to do is that I'm going to open this file, which is an empty file, and then I'm going to initialize few things. So first, I will import the util where my client is already created so that I don't have to it again and again. And then what I have to do is that I have to get a client from the util. So I can say util dot client. So the client is initialized coming from the util file, which you have already seen. And then I will say simple response. In this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this client and then use this because it is a chat completion API. So I will say chat completion create. And then here is what you put a couple of things. Number one, you define which model you're going to use. So you will say client dot model. Just see what is the model name we are going to use. Here, base URL model name. So if I go back here and then client dot, sorry, util, that's why it was not coming. Paste it here. So the model name is the model name of the model which was there. So I kind of use that. And then I can say messages. Yes. And here, if I just type this, you can have multiple types of messages using this. And then inside that, each of the messages will have a role. So I will say role of the message. The role is system. I can just give the instruction to the system, and then I say content. I need to put it in the content. and then I put a colon and say, you are a helpful, funny, cheerful agent. Okay. Respond with respect and clarity. Okay. And that is the number one message. Number two message is again, you say role. You can make it complex, you can make it simple, anything you want. So here, that's the user input. So whatever user is going to enter as a prompt can be pasted here. So I can say content, and this is where I kind of can pass on the user question. So I'll say query. So if I take this query as a variable, I can take input from my application. And let's say the query is, how can I start my day? If I ask this question to this bot, and there is no other complexity. You can add a lot of things. You can see that you have got show you these options available. You have got first one. Do I have the visibility? And then it's a bunch of things we have. One of them should be temperature. I just wanted to figure out where it looks like. This is here. So if I don't see it in this here, somewhere it must be there. So the temperature is what you can define how much creativity it should bring in. If you ground your application with the data you are providing, you should adjust the temperature accordingly. Anything which is mid is fine for, because it will have the balance between the clarity of the data versus bit of innovation. Let's see. So now this messages are created. This is done. I'm done. Now I can just print the output. So if I just say response, and then I say print, and in that I will use this response variable, and I get choices. And the first choice I'm going to pick dot message dot content. I have typed everything here for you to follow along so that you can just follow this. So this is what it should work. So I open my terminal by using control tilde sign. And then here I say that UV run. And then I run this 00 file. So let's just run it, see if it is working or not. Yeah, now it is giving you some output. So it is saying, wake up with a gratitude, open your eyes, stretch like a cat, drink water before coffee, freshen up. And then you can see that it also has got a bit of funny tone into the response. I can change this and say, which model are you? Asking this model a question, at which model are you? So if I ask this and run this code, you should be able to see that, yeah, I'm an AI generated model created by OpenAI, specifically for GPT-4 family. You could think of it as a friendly virtual assistant. Yeah, so kind of like polite, cheerful, funny, because of this instruction. If I just remove this instruction, let's say, that is just have the user response. You notice here the response may differ from the previous one. So you can see that it's straightforward, does not have that flavor which was having it. So you can change the way how LLM generates the response by tweaking the system prompt. So that is why it is important to have that based on the kind of audience you are targeting and then making. So this is it. And I just wanted to share this with you so that you know where to start, how to start, and hope it was helpful. Enjoy. Have a great day.